everybody, my name is Denise Island from Sew Islands, and today I will be teaching you how to quilt on vinyl to create any of these square pieces so you can use them for bag making. And to start off, I'm going to show you what you need. So what we're going to need to start off is your foam. This is what's going to create the 3D pattern look. Without the foam, it's just going to be absolutely flat with no 3D effect. So we're going to need the Pelon foam. There's some with double fuse on one side or the other side. This one has none whatsoever, so we're going to be gluing it down. And then your vinyl, of course. This is marine vinyl from amzn.to. I'll put a link down below. We're also going to need a ruler. I find that these rulers are amazing. It's going to help with the 1 inch marks we're going to do. You can do 1 inch or 2 inches, but 1 inch is what I prefer to do. So these are amazing to work with. Your trusty scissors, of course. And Loctite spray adhesive. You can get this at Walmart or Amazon. This is the glue we're going to be using to fuse this together. And of course, lastly, we're going to need your pattern that you're going to be doing this for. For personal reasons, I'm going to use Lynn's Handmaid's H2O to do the pattern piece. I'll leave the link down below so you can purchase it if that's what you would like to do. So we are going to get our vinyl. And I am going to not trace out. I'm just going to mark how much I want. You want some leeway to work with. So I'm going to give myself some space. Let myself know. And this is your chalk pen. I got it on Amazon. It works amazing. Super easy to clean off. And I will show you right now. So I'm going to mark both sides. Let's continue that way. That much left over. So now that I have approximately the size I want, I am going to just mark it. You see how much it's so much easier when you have a clear ruler to work with. And we're just gonna mark it so that we could cut it. Don't go crooked like me. So then we're going to cut this. It does not matter if it's perfect since we gave ourselves some leeway to work with. That way it'll be easier to sew it without having to cut off the strings every single time. Let's see, so this is as big as the piece we need for this particular size. We're also going to get the foam, and we're going to cut the same size. You can make it the same size or a little larger. I tend to do the same size, or a little larger is fine. Let's see, I'm just going to cut it. So now that's the piece, and you see how I have the chalk right there? That comes off super easy. I'm just gonna use a wipey, simple baby wipe. Comes off like nothing. Super awesome. So now I am gonna take this outside. That way I can glue it with this without having my whole room smell like that. I'm gonna spray the foam outside, and then I'm gonna lay this flat on top and let it glue, and we'll be right back once I do that. Okay, now that we have gotten this glue, you see it's glued on. It will make your life so much easier if it's really glued on. Otherwise, the vinyl will shift and move. Now that it's glued on, we're gonna flip it upside down, and you are gonna get a pen, a skinny pen. You can use like a fine Sharpie. I'm using my Cricut pen, but a fine Sharpie will be really good for this. And then you get your ruler, and we are gonna try to make it straight up. So we're gonna try to follow this line. I think that's pretty straight. Sorry if it's not. Okay, so then now that we got it straight, we are going to make our line. That's our first line that we're gonna follow and sew. After we do that, we're gonna find that line. Oh, wait, we're gonna have to do it this way. We're gonna find that line, and we are gonna be on top of it, and we are gonna do the run inch mark. And this is our second line. So we're gonna keep doing this, and it lines up so nice. You see, both of them are on top. That's how you make the straight lines perfect. Then you can use a bigger Sharpie, but it makes it a little harder to keep it completely even. Let's find the 1 inch mark. So we're gonna go with this all along, as big as the pieces we need to follow. And you can do this with the regular ruler, but this clear long ruler makes it so much easier and faster. Make sure to be straight, because I almost went crooked, and it will be visible if it is crooked. Okay, see, crooked again. There you go. Straight again. And then just go over it. And you can literally do this on the front side, but I would use the chalk pen to do it on the front side. With white, there's no way of getting around with it. You have to do it this way with white. And I will show you why. Because I'd use chalk pen and it will not come off on white. So on white, the only way we can get that effect is by doing this on the back. I learned the hard way. So now I just do it all back this way. Now we're going to flip this over to continue on this side. Okay, so now that we're at this point, now we're gonna also do it across. So again, we're gonna try to find the center again. So let's say this looks like it's going straight. There we go, follow the lines, follow the lines. There we go, follow the lines. There we go. And then now, moving on. And then you can either go up or down. Doesn't really matter because it's just gonna keep going throughout the whole thing. And again, you can make this 1 inch, 2 inches. You could do a bunch of different designs, but this is just for the square look. gonna turn it around again. Whatever angle helps you. That way it could stay straight for you. This one looks off. You see, when you catch it. Okay. Yeah, that one's fine. You see, I went crooked here. I see, it's always good to catch this before you keep continuing and going. I'm just darkening it up so I am aware that this is the one, the correct one, right here. All right. So now that we got the correct marking, we're going to continue. So now we have our markings, and once we have our markings, we take it down to our machine. Okay, so now that we have taken our material to our machine, we're going to do vinyl side face down and foam side facing up. That way we can sew on the back. So the very first most important thing is to make sure that your tension is exactly perfect, because we want our upside down to look like it's top stitch, and to do that we have to get the tension just right. And once you do that, you want to make sure to put in a brand new needle. That way it will not just rip it, but actually sew through it. And we will also need a brand new full bobbin. We do not want to run out of bobbin thread while doing this. It is very important. You do not want to backstitch in the middle or go over, because you will see it and you do not want that. So once we get the bobbin in, I am using 2 contrasting colors, that way you can see it while I sew it, but that is when we're going to start. So we're going to go to a corner over here and put our foot down. And to start off, we're going to make the stitch length out of 5, 5.5. I'm doing 5.5, depends on your machine, depends on the thickness of the vinyl. My vinyl isn't very thick, so I am good with 5.5. If it's thicker, then you'll need to do a 6, 7, depending on how thick. It also depends on the machine. I, fortunately enough, have a Thor 1541S, so this bad boy is a beast, and it's super easy. You can do this on a domestic, but it's a little more difficult, and you will need a walking foot just to make sure that this doesn't crumble up or move on you. Okay, so then let's get started. So we have our foot down, and just starting off in the corner is okay to backstitch, because we gave ourselves extra length to give more leeway to mess around over here, and I will show you why. Okay, so we're going to start. Okay, and then we're gonna backstitch just to hold on tight, and then get to the corner and then stop. Make sure that your sewing needle is down in the downward position, and then lift your foot up and twist it. That is the perfect way to stop wasting thread, instead of having to go off and rethread and cut the excess off. Like right now, I'm gonna do that right now real quick. Instead of having to do that for every single line, we are just going to turn it and stitch it. You see, so then we adjust it and we keep stitching and follow that line. You see, even now we get to another corner, and again, stop, downward position, put your foot up and twist it There you go. Got it lined up, and you continue. See, and fortunately for me, I could keep going here because it's like a perfect corner piece. But for any reason, if that doesn't happen, you easily just turn it and you sew downward until you find another line. And then you stop, put needle down, lift it again, and then you turn. And it's okay to do these lines throughout on the sides because we purposely did that so that we wouldn't go off and have to rethread or anything. And we just continue this on throughout the whole pattern. So we're gonna check. You see, I have one more left. So I'm going to lay back stitch right here a little bit. And then I'm going to just finish this little piece right here. Let's stitch this little corner. And then we continue. Okay, so now we inspect everything, make sure we got all of them. And once we make sure we have all of them, then we flip it over. Okay, so now we're going to look at our handiwork. Admire what you have done. It looks beautiful. You did an awesome job. Way to go. So pretty. Okay, so now that we have our beautiful piece that we can use for any size panel you want, we're going to flip over again. And we are going to grab our pattern piece. I got the H2O sling from Lynn's Handmade. And I am going to try to center it. And that way I can trace it. And I'm going to use my scissors just to weigh it down a little bit. So I want to make sure I give myself enough leeway. You see, I purposely did that. Awesome, we have enough space. Worked really well. See, within the lines. Let's weigh it down again. And then now I'm just going to grab a pen. You can use a Sharpie or a pen, whatever you have and works for you. I have a pen right now, so that is what I'm going to use. So I'm going to have my pen and just trace it. Trace your pattern. It's very important to trace it now and not before. I learned that the hard way, thinking, oh, it would be so much faster tracing before and then sewing this and it'll be in place. That is incorrect. I learned that that does not work. If you do that, the pattern shrinks and it is no longer the size it's supposed to be, and the seam allowances are wrong, and the bags the pieces just do not fit. And I learned that the hard way. So take my word, don't learn the hard way like me. Just do this pattern outline after you finish sewing, even though it could be a little tedious because of the unevenness. It's okay. It's better to be safe than sorry. it was really difficult. I had to fix the other pieces to continue using the ones I did before. I've tried multiple ways, and this is the best outcome I have gotten from all of the different ways I have experimented. So then now we're just gonna trace, keep tracing. Did I already trace there? Yes. Okay, so then now we're gonna do the other side. Now we're gonna do the other side. Make sure to line it up. So now that we have our pattern piece traced out, do not cut it yet. Do not. Scissors, no. We are first, big secret, we are going to baste stitch in the inside 1/8 of the seam allowance, because if you cut it, it is going to fray. Look, this piece doesn't matter. If you cut, this starts to lift up like this, and we do not want it to unravel and come apart, and then it go farther than the seam allowance, and it just not look very professional. So to make it as professional as we can, we are going to take it back to our sewing machine. I'm gonna go in the corner, 1/8 inside, 6 1/2, and then we start to stitch. Am I recording? Yes, I'm recording. Right. And then we start to stitch. It is very important to do this, because if you don't, trust me, it doesn't look as clean. This is my little secret on what I do. Okay, it's still not enough. As long as it's inside the lines, it's okay. We just don't want to cut it out. So just try to do it at 1/8, 1/16, whatever you feel more comfortable with. It's okay to go slow on the corners. The round parts are always a little more difficult, so it's okay to go slow. To go slow. backstitch twice, and that's it. You want to perforate the vinyl as least as possible, just because vinyl will continue to tear and we don't want that. So then now that we baste it, you see, you have it basted. You could see the pattern itself. And now that we have it ready, now is the time to cut. So then we take our handy dandy scissors and we cut out our pattern piece. Okay, so put these pieces aside. I like to keep them just to use them as tab ends or D-ring holders, and anytime you cut out any more pieces, just remember, continue to baste stitch before cutting, and you just could keep them, put them aside. But here you go. This is how my panel piece is gonna look. You can use any type pattern, any type size, but I personally love this. It gives it a fancy, elegant look. It looks so pretty, and it's much easier than we think. So it's awesome. Love it. Okay, so now we have our final product. Woohoo! Now we can use it to use on whatever bag we want. Like this one is gonna become the H2O sling. See? So fancy. And then you can also make it into other bags, like an Annette. That looks so fancy and classy. But there you go. Super easy, super simple, and the outcome is super pretty and totally worth the time. So I hope you liked my video. I hope it was helpful. If you'd like to know more tricks or neat tricks or how to make bags, please like and subscribe so I can teach you more. Thank you.